I think they broke the mold after they made Charlie. So we are not going to ever have another Charlie Munger. So Charlie was a very unusual person from a number of fronts. In one of his last interviews, I think someone asked him, what would you like on your gravestone? And he said that I tried to be useful. And I think that's really exactly how Charlie went about his affairs. He was trying to be useful till the last day, 99.9 years. And there's a book that came out a few years back by Adam Grant called Give and Take. And basically, Adam Grant said there are three kinds of people in the world: givers, takers, and matchers. So the givers just, help out other people without expecting anything in return. The takers who you want to truly avoid in your life are the ones who want to just take from you without giving anything back. And the matchers are the ones who like to keep kind of tabs. Oh, he did me a favor. Let me try to do the same kind of favor for him. And they feel good about that. You want to eliminate the takers and the matchers from your life completely. And you want to be surrounded by givers. And you want to yourself be a giver. And this year, when Buffett wrote his letter, he pointed out that in 65, when he bought Berkshire Hathaway, and Charlie told him he had made a mistake by buying Berkshire Hathaway. And he said that it's okay, you made the mistake. I'm going to try to help you fix it. And Warren said basically Charlie had no ownership stake in Berkshire at the time. There was no plans for him to have an ownership stake, but he was going to selflessly help a friend, right? And the selfless helping of a friend led to about 11 or 12 years after that, or I think 11 years, when he became vice chairman and formally became a partner with Warren in the further evolution and creation of Berkshire. And of course, the rest was history. So I think the one lesson is that you want to be a giver. You don't want to be trying to keep some scorecard, and you don't want to extract from the world and try to be smart about it, because the world will figure that out. So I think that was a really big lesson for Charlie, is that Charlie tried to be helpful to everyone he encountered in any sphere of his life. So he was helpful at the Good Sam's Hospital. He was very helpful to Costco, where he was on the board for 27 years and never missed a board meeting. He was obviously very helpful to Berkshire, and he was helpful to countless students with all of the zingers and one-liners and all his writings and speeches and everything else. He tried to help investors become better and left us a mountain of material to go through. So I think that's one of the lessons. The other thing about what I learned more from observing Charlie as opposed to direct words he would have said to me. I mean, he said a lot of words to me. He helped me in difficult times in my life quite a bit, which was great. But what I observed about Charlie was that every time I'd see him, he was focused on a couple of problems he was working on at the time. And those problems took 200% of his attention. So I try to remind him about his legacy. I try to remind him about the huge body of work that he had created and all these accomplishments in the past. And he would brush it all aside. He was not interested in even thinking about all that or talking about all that. What he would be focused on is, like, he was searching for a CEO for Daily Journal. He was trying to find a successor there, and he had his energies focused on that. Or, for example, when he was designing the dorms for UCSB, I'd go meet him. He'd be working on the plans, and he would ask me questions like, how tall is a F-150 truck? I'm building a parking lot. I want to make sure the F-150 can go through. I don't want to have it too high. He was just constantly very focused on the the topic at hand in front of him. And I think that's another big lesson, is that we humans tend to waste a lot of energy on looking back, on looking around. And Charlie basically was trying to read as much as he could, put as much great content into that incredible brain of his, and then the lattice work synthesizing of that was just incredible. I mean, I would bring up questions to him about Dakshina, where I was sitting on a fork in the road And I'd been noodling on this and I didn't know the answer. And before I had even finished articulating the question, he'd already answered what the solution was. And I said, well, why didn't I think of that myself? It's so obvious. And he doesn't know India and doesn't know all these things, but his answers are right on. And that's because he was, pounding so much into his brain, and it was filed in a manner where the lattice work of mental models was full on. He was able to pull from different models and so on. So it was just great to see that in action. And we've seen that in action at the Berkshire meetings. Warren will be rambling for 5 or 10 minutes and Charlie will give a one line zinger, which is more effective. So that's the way it is.